Good afternoon, this is your captain speaking.
Hi everyone, I'm Jeremy Bailey, your flying realtor. I'm flying solo today. Suzanne had another engagement, but I wanted to jump on and talk to my sellers out there. This is becoming very common where with the reduced inventory, sellers are having a hard time understanding or they're feeling nervous about putting their house on the market when they don't have a place to go. So let's talk about a few different options that we have for our sellers. Now, I would say one of the most common options around here anyway are we put in a clause in the listing agreement, in the listing that goes out to the public, that the sale of this house is subject to the seller finding suitable housing. It means exactly that. It means you don't have to sell your house unless you find a place to go. Be it you're purchasing another home, you could be looking for a rental, perhaps working out an agreement with a relative. Whatever it is, if you can't work that out on the back end, you're not obligated to sell your house so you won't be homeless. So that is by far the most common. Another option is I do have clients that have the means where they'll buy their new house first, and then once they get moved in and settled, moved out of their current home, then we'll prep that house, we'll get it on the market, we'll sell that. Now, that could have the drawback where you may have two mortgages at the same time, but many times we can work it out where there'll never be overlapping mortgages. And a lot of that has to do with when you purchase a new house, the way the financing works out. Usually your mortgage payment isn't due until the next month after, or sometimes the month after that. So there's a delay in when your first mortgage payment is made. And then on your current home, as long as we get it on the market and priced appropriately, it will sell in a fairly short amount of time, and we'll get that closed before your first mortgage payment is due. One of the drawbacks to this is if you were relying on the money from your first house to put a large chunk down to keep your mortgage payment down, that could be a drawback. However, some lenders do have a option to recalculate your monthly payment should you put a large down payment on. So it'll keep the term the same. So whatever the ending date of your mortgage was, that won't change. But if you've just significantly reduced your principal balance, you can ask your lender to recalculate those payments. Not every lender does this. So before you purchase your new house, you want to have that discussion with your lender. Another option is a bridge loan. It's kind of similar to the buy the new house first, sell your current home, but a bridge loan will basically allow you to buy your new home and you won't have two mortgage payments. And you'll be able to sell your other house after you've bought your new house. And it's kind of a way to kind of only have one mortgage payment and still be able to sell and buy a house. Another option is you could sell your house and lease back. So a lease back option means you don't own the home anymore. You've sold it. The current owner, which is the buyer, they've agreed to lease it back to you. Now, I've seen lease agreements. You do not gain tenant rights when this happens, or you may not. So I'm not an attorney. That's something that the attorneys work out. But basically, whatever terms you've negotiated for payment and for the amount of time, when that time is up, you need to get out. And they can force you out without having to go and evict you like a tenant. In many cases, I've seen the agreements. So again, I'm not an attorney, so that's something you need to be aware of, but it could be an option. That way you have this chunk of money, so now you can put the big chunk of money down on the new house that you're purchasing. All right, those are the few options I wanted to go over with my sellers for today. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Remember, I'm Jeremy Bailey, your flying realtor. Remember to keep your wings level, and I gotta fly.